Welcome back to Larry King Live. Tom Selleck made a movie last year called Mr. Baseball, all about an American player adjusting to playing baseball in Japan. We will now meet a real-life person just like that. Matt Winters was a member of the Kansas City Royals in 1989. Now he is a member, and has been for 4 years, of the Nippon Ham Fighters. His batting average over the past 4 years, .276. He's averaged 30 home runs plus each year, knocked in a lot of runs too. He joins us here in Tokyo, along with sports writer Robert Whiting, who has written the definitive books on Japanese baseball, and one of them, The Chrysanthemum and the Bat, another, You Gotta Have Wa. We welcome both to our microphones. Tom Selleck's movie, Mr. Baseball. By the way, how realistic was that, Matt?
I haven't seen it yet. I went home.
Only in Japan. You went home and you missed that.
I went home and I didn't want to. I tried to get the Japanese season out of my system for the brief period of time that I was home. So.
Why have you chosen to write about this topic?
Well, I went to the university here, and then I moved back to New York City, and I tried to tell people about Japan, what the life of the salaryman was like. My major was Japanese politics, and of course there was zero interest. Nobody wanted to pay attention. When I started telling them how the Japanese played baseball, how spring training starts in January, and the season is followed by autumn training in November. And they have something called the 1,000 fungo drill in spring training, in which you field balls until you drop from exhaustion. People started paying attention, so I realized that I had hit upon a way to explain Japan.
So, in other words, it's true, then, that as a metaphor,
yes,
baseball in Japan is a metaphor for Japan life.
Right, you can really see the work ethic and the group ethic in action. They have a union that's never gone on strike.
Players don't leave teams?
Well, they do. There are some trades, but there's more loyalty. There's less.
Why did you come here, Matt?
I was in the minor leagues for 12 seasons, and this is my chance for my minor league pension, and it's a chance to provide for my family.
Why didn't you ever make it in the majors, do you think?
Well, I got half a year in. I got a cup of coffee with Kansas City, and I was just with the Yankee organization at the wrong time. Willie McGee was backed up in Double-A, and George was going out and getting some of the free agents, and it just.
So how did you and Japan connect?
My agent worked out a deal with the Nippon Ham Fighters, and then he told me to read Robert's book, and I read it, and I got kind of scared about coming over here.
But came anyway?
But came anyways, yes.
And have adapted?
Pretty much so, yeah.
What not so? What's the toughest time for a ball player here?
The toughest time is just the communication problem, I think, between the manager and the player. And that's where your interpreter comes in, and he's pretty much a diplomat. Like, the manager will tell the interpreter, hey, I want that American running more. And our interpreter will come up and say, the manager says, maybe if you ran a little bit harder, it'd be all right.
He wants to please both sides.
I think if we took our interpreter and made him a diplomat, he'd do a pretty good job.
Sounds like that, or a program director of a radio station.
Yeah.
But in other words, keep the balance going, right? Okay. The game itself. The game, when we start play ball, first pitch, the game itself.
The game itself is controlled very much so by the managers. If the first runner gets on, the next guy's bunting automatically. They like to have complete control of the game situation, whereas in the States, the managers let the guys go out, look for the big inning.
No surprises.
Yeah, they don't want surprises.
Therefore, they don't have any Tony La Russas here, managers who excel.
I don't really think they have a Tony La Russa over here. They don't let themselves freewheel it.
Have you learned the language?
Enough to know when they're talking bad about me, yeah.
How are the American players treated? There's only three on the team, but only two can dress, right?
Only two can dress.
Three can be signed, though.
Right.
But two can dress for each game, and you're a DH.
Right.
And play the outfield, right?
Once in a while.
And you're in your early 30s?
33.
Okay.
Still young over here, old by the United States.
Fans treat you well?
Fans seem to like me. I'm happy. They think I'm a little crazy, so I'm the Henagaijin over here.
You do nutty things, right?
Yeah, to keep my sanity.
Okay. The folks here, have you seen him play? By applause, how many have seen him play? Now, is it true that you dress up like you'll come out as a sumo wrestler?
I've yet to do that. That might be this year. That might be a good idea to do. So I'll try that.
What have you done?
I just joined a couple of dancing girls out in the field. Before the game, they have little cheerleaders out there. I've gone out there, did the upside-down trick during the rain delay, and I have a few other little gadgets.
Do they like rebels, Rob? Tolerate them?
Be interesting.
It depends. It depends on how rebellious you are. There was one player named Clyde Wright who was here for 2.5 seasons and set an all-time record for fines. He threw a Coke bottle through the manager's window. He urinated in the reporter's cap. He broke a photographer's camera.
I haven't done any of that stuff.
Don't do that. By the way, I will say that we were supposed to have, we try to have some Japanese players here and a Japanese manager. They don't speak English. Almost all, right?
They speak some English, broken English. Yes.
Yeah, it would have been difficult to do it through an interview. Are you lonely on the road?
Well, that you basically hope you're stuck with a pretty good American and you two get along with each other. But when you have your off day, it's like you go your separate ways because you see the guy 180 days in a row. It gets a little bit
this is
too
a
much.
long season with the preseason and the postseason.
Yeah, they have a long, they start, you know, February 1st, the Americans have to be over for spring camp. Meanwhile, the Japanese are already practicing on their own.
Are the Americans on all the other teams friends with each other? Do you kind of have a colony?
Yeah, we form a little group together. You know, it's funny, when I was playing in the States, I always thought about the Dominican, Republican, Puerto Ricans always getting together in the outfield and just jabbering away, you know, and you're like, hey, speak English. But now I'm doing the English speaking, and the Japanese players are like, hey, speak Japanese out there.
The discipline of the game is, the rules are the same, right?
Right.
Right? The discipline's different.
The discipline, yeah, it's very much different. The Tokyo Giants have a list of rules that they give to their new American players that come over each year, which they call, gaijin means foreigners, the word for foreigner. They call it the gaijin 10 Commandments.
A rule for foreign. Give me some.
Obey all orders issued by the manager. Do not criticize the strategy of the manager. Take good care of your uniform. Players have been known to rip up their uniforms if they're taken out of a game for a pinch hitter. Do not scream and yell in the dugout or destroy objects in the clubhouse.
Well, so far, not many guys could come over. Go ahead.
Do not severely tease your teammates. Do not reveal team secrets to other foreign players. Be on time. Do not return home during the season. And do not disturb the harmony of the team.
Do they bother your sex life, Matt?
Well, the first year, by the time my wife got over, I was having a pretty good spring camp, and then my wife came, and I proceeded to go about 5 games without getting a hit in spring camp here, and they were a little worried. They were wondering if they should just send my wife back home.
Has your wife adopted well?
She's done very well. In
Kids?
fact, I want to say hello to Darby. It's her birthday today. She's 4 years old back in the States.
Oh, she's back in the States,
Yeah.
sir. Happy birthday to Darby, back in the States. We're going to go to some phone calls. And we go to Yokota Air Force Base, Japan. Hello.
Hello, Larry. My name is Ray. I'm an American serviceman. I've been in Japan for about 4.5 years. My question is to both of the guests. It said that non-Japanese players are limited on each team. If so, why is that? And how do you feel about it?
Yeah, we discussed that. 3 on a team, but only 2 can dress. Why?
It's a protectionist rule because they think if they open up the doors to all Americans, there won't be any room for the Japanese players. They don't have a deep farm system like the Americans do. Each team has one farm team. There may be 70 players on a roster, so they feel they have to control it.
And I saw the high school games are telecast.
Yes.
High school tournaments.
Well, high school tournaments even almost bigger than professional baseball over here.
Where do you play? Where are the Giants?
Nippon,
your team is
Fighters.
the Nippon Ham Fighters.
We're the second team in the Tokyo Dome. We share the dome with the Giants.
You play at home games there, too?
Yeah, the Giants get the dome during the rainy season, and we get it during the hot summer months.
We'll be back with more on baseball Japanese style. Don't go away. Hey, in Tokyo, who loves you, baby? With the studios of TV Asahi, we're with Matt Winters, former AAA outfielder. Had a cup of coffee with Kansas City, and Robert Whiting, a terrific writer who writes about baseball and a lot of other things. Maybe one of the best writers ever about the subject of Japan and relating Japan to Western culture? How's the pay?
A lot better than I was making in the minor leagues, but it's not quite up to scale with the major leagues.
What's the average player get?
Average Japanese player, starter, I would say, gets maybe $150,000, $200,000.
American
players get $750 up that come over? Yeah.
Well, no.
Barfield get $2 million this year?
Barfield made some big money coming over. Mel Hall made some big money. But a guy coming over from the minor leagues, you might start out about $350.
And get up to about $750? You were reported at $750.
Well, I'm working my way up. It's the fourth year, man. I'm still trying to get the coveted seven figures.
Is this an expensive place to live?
It's very expensive over here, but they pick up the rent for the apartment, which helps out a lot because the apartment we have is a 3-bedroom place for about $8,000 a month.
$8,000 a month for 3 bedrooms?
Yeah.
Let's get in another call. San Jose, California. Hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm calling from San Jose. I'm Japanese. I'd like to ask Mr. Winter. You understand a very good Japanese player. Who is gonna be a very good in American League if he's joining the American League?
Oh, well, how would Japan do?
How would Japan do?
Let's say first of all, could any of these teams compete?
Team-wise, compete would be very tough.
Suppose we put together an all-star team.
You put an all-star team together, you could compete in the States. I'm not saying you'd win, but you wouldn't embarrass yourself.
Think so, Robert?
Yes, I agree. Players have been saying the same thing for the past 20 years.
So they could put together an all-star team and finish somewhere in the middle in either American or National Leagues.
Right. It's like Matt was saying earlier. There are players on a team who could start in the major leagues and do really well, but there are other players who couldn't make Class A ball.
And one league has the DH and one doesn't, right?
Correct.
Just like
the American League.
We go to Tokyo. Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Tokyo, you're on. Go ahead.
Yeah, great show, Larry. My question is for Robert Whiting. It's a kind of two-part question. How does he feel of the opinion that baseball is losing its popularity as a spectator sport in Japan? And how does he think the new professional J-League soccer league is going to affect baseball in the future?
Hey, Robert?
Well, baseball is losing its popularity. That's been quantified. When I first came here, every kid wore a baseball cap, and now I think it's only 1 out of 6. They're all playing soccer. But I think the J-League, the soccer league, will do very well. They're drawing 50, 60,000 people. But I think the reason that baseball is losing its popularity is because the Tokyo Giants haven't won for several years, and they're on television every night nationwide. And if they get a young, big star, I think baseball will come right back.
They're like the national team, Matt?
Oh, the national team, they're Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, all wrapped up in one.
You know, when they go on the road, they have fans everywhere they go?
Oh, without a doubt. If you play the Giants, you have a sellout, wherever, anywhere on this island.
So that's not good when a team controls a sport, is it? Although for this sport, it would help if they got good.
Well, I don't think it's good. I mean, before they instituted the draft, the Giants used to win every year. They won 9 years in a row. Now they have a draft, and a different team wins every year, and attendance has gone up. But,
is this a bat?
Yep. This is a Japanese bat for you. This is how they come, because I guess they cost so much they wrap them for you.
What does a Japanese bat cost?
I don't tell you. You'll have to talk to the front office. And the Nippon Ham Fighters are changing their uniforms this year. And this is a jacket from the fighters. So this is the first time they've seen this outside here. So I hope it fits. I don't know if it does now.
Good for me. This is a Nippon Ham Fighters warm-up jacket, right?
Warm-up jacket. It's a brand. You're the first person to wear it.
I'm the first person to wear it.
We're changing our uniform because we came in 5th last year, so we changed our colors.
Bring new luck, right?
Right.
You got a ball, too?
Got a ball for you to sign. I'm going to keep this one, though.
Hey, man, I'm on it.
You gotta
Hey,
come
kid,
to Tokyo, though.
look me up. Good luck, kid. Hope you make it.
All right, thank you, Larry.
You live here, too, Robert, right?
Yes.
Like living here, obviously.
Yes, I do. Well, my wife works with the United Nations, and she's in Indonesia now, so I sort of go back and forth. I commute. She's Japanese, and I have an international marriage in the real sense of the word.
When you finish here, you going back home?
I'm going back to the States, so hopefully hook up with somehow in the coaching system or a front office system.
Great to have you both with us, and thanks for the gift, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, we'll meet an American businessman who's done very, very well in Japan. In fact, he's a top CEO of a Japanese company. We'll also meet the mayor of a prominent Japanese city. That's it for tonight. Thanks from the studios of TV Asahi. Don't forget Thursday and Friday in Hong Kong. Susan Rook and Patrick Greenlaw are going to co-anchor the news back in Atlanta. Patrick, what